All hard cases still get laid in Daygame for 2025. With the right system, of course, hard cases aren't hopeless. The real path to Daygame success. All hard cases still can get laid in 2025. And I'm going to tell you, because once you know this mechanism, you're going to say, of course, it makes so much sense. So watch the whole video to find out what this mechanism is that enables a hard case to get laid in 2025, while in teachable cases are not going to get laid. So stick around. And over here, let's talk about it. Hard cases in Daygame, why you're stuck, how to fix it, and what unteachable cases will never, ever learn. So what's the difference between a hard case who eventually breaks through and gets laid for Daygame with my coaching consistently, and one who stays stuck forever, like an unteachable case? After coaching hundreds of students and generating over 659 laid and pulled testimonials, I've identified the critical mindset shifts that separates the winners from the losers and the ones who have eternal strugglers. Here's the truth. Most Daygame coaches don't understand hard cases. They either give up on them or they feed them more technical advice, which only keeps them trapped in their heads. But I've cracked the code. I've seen hard cases transform into naturals. Guys who can approach, they can connect, and they can get laid consistently, like my Chinese student with 15 lays, 5 models, 5 white girls, 1 foursome, and 2 actresses. And he married one of them, and he already procreated with her, and he's a father now, not too long ago. In fact, I posted his testimonial out there. So, he only got 1 lay from an RSD Tyler boot camp before, after 5 years. So it wasn't like the first or 4th year he got laid. It's just right before he met me. He got laid in a Latin shithole country. So hard cases are the most misunderstood students in Daygame. They are not hopeless, but their mindsets and habits often holds them back. So if you're watching this, chances are you feel stuck too. So let me show you why, and more importantly, how to fix it. Like I said, if you watch this entire video, you're going to learn the mechanism, and I'm going to go in details how you can get laid as a hard case. Give it a thumbs up for that. So you tried everything as a hard case. So this is what they usually go through. They'll buy a bunch of online courses for Daygame, and they'll think to themselves, okay, maybe the next course will be good. They'll watch a bunch of endless infields, even though nothing happens in it. There's mostly number closed videos. And then from those number closed videos, as nothing happens for it, they start to like, there's no same day lays. It only ends in a cab for white dating coaches. And you try to hit the streets and you start giving direct compliments. You start playing a mass numbers game, and nobody seems to care. It's like the more you approach, the more indifference you get, and you don't know why. So you start getting stuck. Then you start watching one advice video to another. And the places you go to as a hard case, it's almost number one, you're going to go to RSD, real social dynamics, and it's not going to work. Second place you go to after that is that you're going to go to tall, self-proclaimed, highly account coaches. So that's the thing. That's number two. And then after that, 1 second. I'm just going to change the title a little bit because I don't think the title is good. It's not attracting people here. Let me just change it quickly. Maybe I should post a video over here. I'll put a link to it. There's only one person watching or zero. Okay, I'll put a link over there. It should be in the. Oh shit, it's not working. Okay. Video. Let me look for the newest one. There it is. Live. Right? Join. Now. All right. So as I was saying, hard cases are the most misunderstood students in Daygame. They're not hopeless, but their mindsets and habits often holds them back. So if you're watching this, chances are you feel stuck too, especially in 2025 with the inflation and the tariffs. So let me show you why you're stuck, and most importantly, how to fix it. You tried everything, like I said. I'm repeating myself, but I lost my place, so I'm going to continue doing that. Okay. So you bought courses, you watch endless infield videos, even though it's just number close videos. Nobody got laid for the white dating coaches. They went to a cab. That's it. They end up in the cab. And you never seen a white dating coach end up anywhere else besides a cab. So let me just share this with the group. And you see a bunch of number closed videos, whatever that means for Daygame. But you didn't see anything. But the fact that they even tried is what fooled you. I'm just sharing this with the other group. And then you start buying a bunch of courses too that did not work. And just delete the other videos so they don't watch those ones. Let's continue. And you even hit the streets. That means once you start watching all these advice videos, then you start buying these PUA courses. Then none of it works at all for you. You start going direct. You keep saying like, "Can I meet you real quick? Can I meet you real quick? 3 second rule. Can I meet you real quick?" And then you just get blown up to smithereens. No matter how many times you go out there, "Can I meet you real quick?" Or "I thought you look adorable. I like your style. I thought you look adorable. I like your style. I like your." It's just nonstop rejections. It's like you're probably thinking, "What the fuck is this? Why is Daygame so hard? You can't even open. She won't even stay more than a few seconds." And you wonder, but you've been worshiping all these other dating coaches. You listen to these platforms scamming networks of global gaming platform scammers. You listen to Ross Jeffries, Mystery, you listen to all of these people, and you don't get any results. You just bought into their hype. It's like who in ABCs, and you got all these people that are basically bragging about fucking Tinder lays from a Latin shithole country, or they're bragging about their lay counts, even though they can use AI to make the images for you. That means, for example, this background here, right? It's probably like, I don't know, is it like AI generated? I don't know. They just superimposed it to the back of my head. Why am I zooming in? I zoom out there. So imagine they change the background like that, right? In your picture for Tinder, and you're in a fucking third world country, which is easier. And they change your face too. They redraw you. What the fuck is that? So we're gonna say that that is pickup. That's not pickup. And you listen to people like this. But no matter how many times you tell the sheeps these kind of things, and you give them critical thinking, like you ask them questions, they're going to stare say, "Oh yeah, but what about infields?" They don't show it. Have you ever seen a white dating coach ever go beyond just getting inside a cab and they call it a pull? Have you ever seen them go actually at home or have sex? Has that ever happened in the history of Daygame? And no, not even once. Why are you worshiping them? No, but they must be good because no, they just need to stand next to women. That's what you guys are getting stuck with, the hard cases, because you assume that if pickup artists can get like a 4 out of 10, eventually then Daygame works, then whatever they teach must work. You have these automatic thinking because you have no social intelligence. You don't know anything about social skills. And all the other dating coaches don't even have a single lay testimonial. And you know what's the most sad thing? Is that they don't even have to get students laid anymore. They don't even have to get anybody laid. I mean, that's the sad thing. All they have to do is just show up, stand next to a woman, and you see these Facebook coaches. They're in fucking Thailand or some other country, and they're just standing next to women there, and they start doing some kickboxing, like Muay Thai kickboxing, and they start taking all these pictures, like these tall, white, good-looking guys, and they're just like, yeah, empowerment. And then they just stand next to a woman, and there's like a DSLR camera there, and they're taking a picture behind a DSLR, but you get fooled, you get dazzled. These hard cases are stuck because they have no social intelligence. If there's like a perfect background and she's willing to show her face, it's most likely just a photo shoot that they probably got from Craigslist or something. But these guys have no critical thinking. You've never seen a white dating coach actually pull her back home and have sex with her. Not even once in your lifetime. Todd V just always at nighttime, always ends in the cab. Tall self-proclaimed high lay count coach, daytime ends in the cab. Then the camera cuts off completely. You never see them go home ever, but they'll tell you, why would I lie? All this other stuff. It's like, well, excuse me, like show us from open to sex. And then all these people are like, oh yeah, what are you looking at? You're looking at white plausibility. You're not looking at anything, or they just stand next to women. Like Matt Artisan. He'll just invite a bunch of Latinas from Mexico or Colombia or some shit third world country to hang out. It maybe go to a pool that he rented. And then that becomes proof, right? Of what? Hanging out with women? Of course, the hard cases get dazzled. They get stuck. So you try to do this yourself. So you thought, do not go out there. Can I meet you real quick? Rejected. 3-second rule. Can I meet you real quick? Rejected. Sorry. Next one. Hey, can I meet you real quick? He stays a little bit. I got a boyfriend. Fuck. Next one. Can I meet you real quick? Okay. Why? I gotta get going. Fuck. What's happening? A 3-second rule. Next one. Can I meet you real quick? So, okay. For what? Yeah. Then, so what are you doing right now? So, talks a little bit. And then flaky phone number. Can I meet you real quick? Rejected. Can I meet? Afterwards, you go through like 20 fucking rejections that day. Maybe 25 because they say volume or some shit. Every single one of them flakes. Every single one of them flakes. And you're like, well, I thought they will get results because the coach gets results, but the coach only ends in the cab during the daytime when they run across the street and go, whoa, 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 whoa. And then camera cuts off and they tell you this is the result, what happened. Why would I lie? It's like, these guys have no critical thinking. Then you watch these Coach Kyle people that are like RSD or something, still instructed, like instructors that still go to other instructors, and then they just get number close videos, and they get like so many like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, like 800,000 or something, or 600,000, just by being white and good looking, and getting rejected, and nothing happens. And once in a while, in the photo shoot, they just stand next to a woman at a home, and then you guys get dazzled. No wonder hard cases are stuck. So nothing seems to work for you. You're frustrated and you're spinning your wheels and you're wondering why you're not seeing results. And I'm here to tell you it's not your fault. You're not broken. You're just stuck in the hard case mindset. And today I'm going to show you how to break free from that fucking mindset. But first, let's get one thing straight. You're not an unteachable case. That's right. Hard cases are not unteachable cases. You're like, what do you mean? But doesn't the hard case mean that they're very tough to teach, John? Because the name hard cases, like RSD Tyler said, hard case newbies, hard case, hard to teach, hard case. They're not the same thing as unteachable cases. Unteachable cases are a completely different story. They're not stuck. They're doomed. They refuse to listen and they procrastinate endlessly. They blame everyone else and they cling to delusions. That's right. That's different. Unteachable cases are like Latinos. And what kind of Latino fuck behavior is there? So I want to define, before we talk about hard cases, we have to know exactly what is an unteachable case. And Marco was arguing with me last time. I kicked him out for a week. He was doing so good. 7 days he was practicing the whitewash tonality, and then he lost his fucking mind. So when you finish listening to the audio, then you let me know. Then you'll be unbanned, Marco. All right. So I'll just show him a screenshot of the Latino fuck behavior here. This chart that says Latino fuck behavior. So now we have to define what is an unteachable case. If hard cases are not unteachable cases, then what the hell is an unteachable case? Just because it's called a Latino fuck behavior does not mean it's just exclusively for Latinos. It could be for Black students. It could be for Asians. I get unteachable cases of every ethnicity. It's just, it happens that 100% of Latinos have this mindset. It's not because it's Latino fuck behavior, Latino mindset stuff. It's just, it's really, I could just call it the lowest self-esteem, living in total hell, complete zombie. I just call it zombie fuck behavior. But Latinos all have it. So let's read it just to define it, so we know what this impossible cases is not as hard as like or bad as hard cases. I mean, hard cases is bad. Impossible cases is worse because they're emotional. Like sorry, I just woke up. Like I could barely think. Hard cases, it takes them 6 months for their first light. If they're not a pickup artist, if they're a pickup artist, it can happen faster. But if they are not a pickup artist, they don't have a lot of day game experience. It'll take them 6 months to make their first transformation. For impossible cases, because they get emotional and they get really hurt by rejection, they get triggered, and they argue. They're just like hard cases, right? But they're just more emotional. Those kind of guys would take around 10 months to a year to get laid. Unteachable cases take about 3 years, or never get laid. Most likely, in like over 90% of cases, they will not get laid. They'll give up. They're the first ones to give up. And let's define it, right? Because it sounds really bad. It doesn't matter if the unteachable case is like emotional, like an impossible case, or they are not emotional. If the point is they do the opposite of what they're supposed to be doing when I'm teaching them. So they have no grit. They don't have a growth mindset. When you teach them something, everything is fixed because they are stubborn. They always believe it has to be, oh, I don't get what you're doing. You're teaching singing lessons or something like that. No. Like sometimes their voices are not very good. They have a lot of cortisol. So when they sing through the notes, they can stretch it out. You notice British singers, right? Like, for example, like listen to Dua Lipa. I'm not sure if she's actually Albanian or is she like British, but she has a British accent. But when she sings that, you cannot hear the accent. When she talks, you can hear this British like accent. Same with Elton John, and same with a lot of different people. And Ozzy Osbourne too. He's like a metal singer. When he sings, right, he's like, he slurs his words. You have no idea what the fuck he's saying. But when he starts singing, he's like, I am an Iron Man. Everything's so fucking clear. So let's talk about unteachable cases. So what is Latino fuck behavior? Let's define it. In the past, Latinos have a 7 out of 10 perceived natural status. So that means they had a high SMV. After the border crisis, this is written, right? When I say border crisis, this is written during the first Trump administration for this chart, the Latino fuck behavior chart. That means this is probably more than 4 years old. That means if Latinos are acting the same way, this is something like even like 4 years ago or more, like 5 years ago. Don't just disappear. After the border crisis, it lowers down to 6 out of 10. Now it's 5 out of 10 because this is the second time that Donald Trump has been there, throwing them over the borders. And let's just skip right to it because people are disappearing. Don't fucking go. What the fuck? Look at that. Must be all Latinos listening to that getting triggered. In the past, Latinos have a 7 out of 10 perceived natural status. In the past, they could SMV that with ease as they can get multiple girlfriends. They always brag. Latinos are like this. I used to get many girlfriends before. That's what they say. Latinos will say, I used to get many girlfriends. Oh man, their SMV was so high before with a 7 out of 10 perceived natural status. They could literally get a girlfriend with ease. Like, they're tall, they're decent looking, they're all 7 out of 10 looks. Having said that, it says that since they had multiple girlfriends, now it's harder, stuck since they're often skillless and does everything in one step, not like three like social skills flow drill. I think what that means is that they have more of a Pentium one core processor, really old processor, the way they think for these unteachable cases. You can almost think that their brains are different in terms of CPU. So it says number one, no instincts for grit, one track mind, doesn't listen to Johnny Lee, does it their way. Everything is one step flirts, one step game techniques, not two steps or three. They throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. SMVing it. They all talk super fast with women, cortisol. That sounds exactly like what I've experienced when I teach Latino students. So now that a lot of people disappeared, let me call them out again. So when I talked about, okay, I'm just going to write this. When I talked about Latinos, right, they all left, right? Triggered. Yeah. All right, let's continue. So that's the first trait. So what does that mean? Like throwing shit against the wall and see what sticks. It basically means they have a one-track mind. And they're like they cannot do multiple steps. This is why a lot of Latinos, they like to work with their hands. Almost all Latinos are, I had Latino students that are like dentists, construction, they deal with cars and stuff. But Latinos never do like a job requires all thinking. I've never seen that before. I've only known of several entrepreneurs who does think like Dan Pena and maybe another Latino that made like a lot of money for his company. But very few Latinos ever make it rich. They don't have the ability to think. This is why I said like no instincts for grit, one track mind, doesn't listen to Johnny Lee, does it their way. Everything is one step first, one step game. That basically they're very stubborn. One track mind means for Latinos, there's only one way to do something. Oh, once again, the Latinos are leaving. Oh, they're getting triggered. So they disappear. But at least that person gave it a thumbs up. Somebody gave it a thumbs up. So that's good. Number two, the wrong path, the sociopath. So whatever they believe, right? They'll argue with me and tell me that I'm wrong, and then they'll do it their way. It's gonna fail in 4 months. So the wrong path to sociopath in 4 months, it feels so bad. And this happens to all Latinos. They'll tell me that they'll do it like this way. I tell them that they'll get a job because I'm psychic around the beginning of Donald Trump's presidency. And the guy does get a job there. So how do you know? And then you start to say to him, it's only going to last so long. Is that really? But if you start using Udemy courses and learn programming or something like that, then you can find another job and you can get these courses for cheap or free. And he doesn't listen because they got too lazy and they get kicked out of their job for being lazy. And then it blows up in their face in 4 months. Another Latino student tried to do it his way. And guess what? It blows up in his face in 4 months. And he doesn't find another job. He rage quit. It's like, okay, exactly 4 months when they fail. It's always a magical 4 months. I don't know how this happens, but I had another student who's Latino, Spanish, living in the United States. First of all, he gets like fucking thrown in jail and the police kicks down his fucking door. It's not related to what I taught him. And then after that, he gets his girlfriend pregnant. It's like he's possessed by demons. It blows up in his face 4 months, and the next one 4 months, next one 4 months again. It's like, what's going to happen next? So it feels so bad, completely destruction, one track mind, only one way to do something until it fails over and over. So when you're living like a Latino, it is the worst hell you can ever experience. Because for Latinos, imagine having such low self-esteem and one track mind, and everything that you do, you keep giving, you use so much self-deception. You tell yourself because you had girlfriends before, and lots of them had multiple girlfriends, not just one. The Spanish guy in high school, he had like two girlfriends at the same time. So it's not surprising. Even Marco in the beginning had multiple girlfriends. Latinos had so much SMV. Now it's taken away. Now it's like, it's no longer like 7 out of 10. It's like 5 out of 10 because Donald Trump was back twice. So, okay. So it seems like people are disappearing. Because when I talk about Latinos, I'm not racist against Latinos. I just really think that their behavioral traits are just fucking awful. I really do. Because they act like a bunch of sociopaths. And that's exactly what's the problem. Because they're acting like sociopaths. One track mind, opinions as facts. They never take responsibility because win at all costs. Of course, they'll say, oh, don't call me a sociopath. It's like, but you're acting like a sociopath. So, and they're ADHD too. They can't focus. And they're almost like subhuman. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but they're like zombies or something. Like what percentage of Latino students act like this? Because not all the Asian students act like that, or Indian students act like that. It's only like a small percentage. For Latinos, it's like 100%. There's no exception to the rule. When we're talking about their Pentium 1 chips, that's what they are. That's what they are. So then the next one, they have an autistic meltdown. Is how fast did they get their meltdown? At some point, they're going to lose their shit. They're going to have a conversation with them. They're going to make no sense. And they're going to nearly quit. But they're going to cry and they're going to complain and you got to deal with their fucking temper tantrums. That's what in unteachable cases, because they didn't follow any of the instructions with their one-track mind. They run away from all homework, and all of a sudden, they fail, and then they have a meltdown. That's an unteachable case. That's a Latino fuck behavior. So, from there, they get depressed, obviously. Imagine that you keep failing over and over. Life feels like it's a slap in the face for these unteachable cases. They dismiss your system even though it's proven to work. And I have the most student late testimonials, but these things stupid because singing lessons. I didn't sign up for singing lessons. You had to fix your fucking cortisol voice. It says over here. It says like right here in the very first one. Throw shit against the wall, see what's it, all six. All talk super fast with women, cortisol speech. It says so right here, and this is written during the first Trump administration. When I made this chart, this is probably like more than 5 years ago when I made this chart. This is no chart. It's been recycled, and it still works today. That means Latinos have not changed 5 years ago from now when I made this chart. So what happens after the autistic meltdown? After the autistic meltdown, tears and everything, and they lose their mind. And you always see a Latino losing their mind. It happens all the time. They get depressed and they quit for a while. That's the truth. All Latinos will quit right away. They'll have a one-track mind. It'll blow up in their face in 4 months, their way of doing things. Then they're going to go through a meltdown and they quit, but they're too stubborn to quit. Their one-track mind does not allow them to quit. Their massive ego does not allow them to quit. So the next step, number 5, is that they repeat the process back to step 1. That means they resurrect. Latinos will always resurrect back to step 1. Right? Really? That's right. Now they respawn. They have completely been demolished. They have no self-esteem left. Super ADHD. They don't show up. They're full of cortisol. And they think like a sociopath. And of course, you might be saying, well, Latinos are not sociopaths. Well, okay. Then how come when you look at the top 50 murder capitals of the world, 46 of them are Latino countries? And you say, well, that's not fair. But then they cross the border illegally. How is that? Like, still criminals. And there's like, oh, yeah, okay. So Donald Trump has to deport 12 million Latinos back to the border. And they say, well, that's not everything. Well, the thing is that they killed 300,000 Americans. They killed more Americans than Osama bin Laden for fentanyl. They're like, well, the Chinese were the one who gave the precursor drugs to. The Chinese didn't bring it into the fucking country. Latinos did. So stop shifting blame. Yes, I'm Chinese. And yes, it's easy to blame the Chinese. And yes, they did give Latinos the precursor ingredients to the fentanyl. But it was the Latinos who trafficked that stuff, just like sex trafficking. These people are crazy. Like the amount of child sex trafficking that Latinos done, it's like through the roof. It's almost like their hobby or something. If they cross the border, how many children, honestly, have gotten raped? That's Latino fuck behavior. It's like that's the price they pay to get over the border. And their parents, they throw them over there to the border, and they don't even like the parents are separated. And then they give them an address they're supposed to find. They don't. Most of them get lost. This is Latino fuck behavior. One track mind. Like these are not like, oh, but they're doing our construction. They're picking our fruits. Without them, everything's gonna be harder. Well, they're like a fucking tumor. A tumor affecting everything. It needs to be cut out and moved back. This is why when I look at the voting, for example, when I look at the voting over here in the community section, I know it's been contaminated with a lot of videos showing how Latinos are killing everybody and fucking up the world. And every video I see of that, I'll be posting it. However, it's like all cartels, they all, like in this picture, you can't really see it, but they all have like a big fucking frown on their face, right? They all do it. And I tell Marco not to do that. Then he starts making excuses. That's how Latinos are like. They're not coachable people. They're not coachable. They have no growth mindset. They have no resilience. They always run away from homework assignments. They won't do it. They love to procrastinate. Procrastinators are fucking losers. And it's like somebody needs to say it. There's 12 votes right now. 75% says, should all future Latino students be banned from coaching? I mean, from here. They are stubborn, unteachable cases, all of them. Like Indians from India. Indians from India were banned because they're hostile, but they're unteachable cases. Not all Latinos are hostile or malevolent, means evil. Some of them are benevolent and they're good people, but they're just mentally fucked up. My students are nice people, but they're fucking stupid and fucked up Latino fuck behavior. That's unteachable cases. So 75% of 12 people right now voted yes, if not coachable, doing the opposite. They say kick them out. And 25%, I assume they're Latinos, says call them out in the video, then forgive them, let them stay. But that's Latino fuck behavior. And it wasn't just a Latino fuck behavior. I had a guy from 3 months of proficiency act exactly the same way. This black student who's living in the United States. He was full of cortisol, looks kind of chubby. He did exactly the opposite of everything I said. He pretended to do his homework, and he was engaged in self-deception. That's why they're unteachable cases. They always tell themselves everything is all right. They love self-deception. That's their thing. Always love self-deception. They have to lie to themselves. As soon as you tell them what the mistake is to a Latino, the first thing they do is to lie to themselves to protect their massive narcissism, personality disorder. They have to lie to protect their ego. Then they have to shift the blame that is somebody else's fault. Somehow my fault or somebody else's fault. It's never their fault. How convenient. Latinos is never at fault for anything, so they never change. And then when you tell them to do a mindset playlist for one of the guys in Colombia or Mexico, then Colombia, he doesn't do it, and I kick him out, and he's like, fine, game over. That's why I create Elite 60, because their lack of emotional intelligence. And another problem with the Latinos is that they don't have any emotional intelligence. You play their audio, and it sounds gloomy, and it sounds depressed, but they'll tell you it doesn't sound depressed. And then you play it to all the other Latinos on YouTube Live, and they say, I can't hear it either. It's like you guys have a Pentium 1 brain, unteachable case, slow, one-track mind, full of viruses in the computer. And your RAM is so low that it's always occupied by your job. You're so fucking distracted with ADHD that your job, you can barely even handle your job and do a second thing. And here's the thing. Impossible cases are very similar. They're not like a Pentium 1 chip. They're almost like a Pentium 2 or something. They're emotional. They overheat. Not a very good chip. They have a shit operating system, but it's not Windows 95 like the Latinos. Impossible cases, they have a little bit of mental viruses. They're a little bit delusional, but they're able to still be coachable. And their operating system is like Windows Vista or some old shit way back in the day. If some of you remember, if you're even old enough to be alive back then, like me. So it's all full of viruses and stuff. It overheats, doesn't have good ventilation. It crashes. So that's impossible cases. Not unteachable cases. That's like Pentium 1. That's like the lowest of the lowest. So it's like Pentium 2. Then you got hard cases like a dual core processor. Sure, they don't overheat. They don't get emotional. And sometimes the brain are full of viruses and malware. They think stupid thoughts. They have to keep asking questions. and they get stuck. They're slow, but they have a 2 cores. That means they can still be coachable. If you clean all the viruses with the mindset playlist, they can jump into normal case. Then you got your normal cases. These guys are like a quad core, like a 4-core processor. They're not the fastest. They're not the fastest by any means. 4-core is not a lot. My laptop over here, I think it has a 10-core processor. So let's see. I'm just looking at the details. But I believe that, let's see over here. Intel i7, but I think this one has a 10-core processor. So they're like a quad core for normal cases. They're a little bit faster. They can handle more of the homework, but they still have to ask questions. They're still a little bit slow. They're like the Windows 10, I believe, whatever it's called. I don't have that anymore. But now this one is like easy cases are like a 10-core processor or a 16-core processor. A really fast, can crunch a lot of things. We're not just talking about AMD shit. We're talking about Intel. A very fast processor. They don't overheat. They don't have any viruses. They don't get delusional. They're very fast. They have a lot of RAM. They can handle multiple things, and they execute. So why can't a fucking Latino follow instructions? Why do they have to bite their lower lip and get offended like this? And then demons will affect their brain, and then they'll start giving this offended look. They'll start to scowl like this. They get offended. Half their face crunches up. And then when their faces are like that, right? Exactly. When Latinos, their face, once they get triggered, they'll be like this, right? They scrunch up their face halfway because they're triggered, high ego, low self-esteem, like this. And then they'll start throwing all their viruses at you in their computer. They overheat, and then they start doing the opposite. And then all of a sudden, everything's just fucking like, they start telling you, I don't think this is how you're supposed to make it work. And they'll start getting brainwashed. They'll talk about all the old viruses, like you have to go direct or you have to say, I want to meet you real quick. All their brainwashing, all these fucking virus softwares that they all these pop-ups would pop up, right? When you're talking to fucking Latinos, right? They'll pop up and their face goes like this and more pop-ups show. Aren't you supposed to sexualize it? Are you supposed to DHV it? Huh? I don't get it. Why do you have to do these drills? These are singing lessons. Like I didn't sign for singing. They just nonstop, and then they just start melting down, right? The whole computer starts to fucking fry, and then sparks come out of the power supply, right? And coke, right? And too influenced by gangsters and cartel, exactly. And then sparks flies out of the fucking out of the power supply. It starts to short itself out when they're losing a fucking meltdown, and the RAM starts to get overheated, and then the whole computer fucking freezes. The screen goes blue and stuff. You restart it, and the whole thing had more fucking pop-ups. That's when a Latino loses their fucking minds. I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm just, it's the truth. Once that scowl of a, and another thing is that all these Latinos, these cartel members, right? When I was showing Marco and stuff, stop fucking frowning, right? Like a cartel. All their mouths are like this, right? They're like emotionally retarded, right? But all of them are like this. All the Latinos, right? Like every single mugshot's like this. Next guy, right? Probably like a child rapist or something. It's like they have a like longer frown, and then you got like other guys, murderers. It's just down here, short, right? And then you got another guy, just a little bit down, and another guy, way down here. But all the Latinos, they have no emotional intelligence. You try to tell them that you sound depressed. It's just like, what are you talking about, John? I don't feel anything. Right? They're starting to look like a Chinese person for a second with their black hair and stuff. Like, I'm just joking. I'm not trying to be racist. Right. And then they frown again. And then it's like, I don't agree with that. I don't think so. Wait, call everyone a sociopath. No, I'm calling you a sociopath. Not everyone. So what the fuck? And then they lose their minds. It's like, oh, fuck, Latino fuck behavior. You show them the chart, and they start acting more like Latino fuck behavior. It's like a virus or something in their brain. You can't communicate with them. It's like, what the fuck? I have 659 lame poll testimonials. Like, oh, yeah, but, like, where's all your infields and stuff? Like, well, show me one single fucking white dating coach that actually went beyond, like, the only infield they have is just going to a cab and that's a pole and it cuts off. Show me one white person that actually same day late. No, but like what the fuck is fucking? These guys are sheeps, right? They're like stupid fucking sheeps, right? And the dating coaches they listen to are a bunch of cartels, right? That's like mini cults. And they listen to that. They're just like this, and they just lose their mind, and they love to spread their butt cheeks as hard as possible. They like to grab it like this and rip open their butt cheeks to white dating coaches and just slide it in, right? That's Latinos. They cannot wait to slide it in. They're just like Indians, right? They can't wait to rip open their butt cheeks, right? And just slide it right in, right? Because they don't have any emotional intelligence. And when you look at the chart, and you show it to the Latino students, so Mark was like, and all these other Latinos are like, oh, I don't have any I don't have any problems with emotions and stuff. And then let me look at this other student, this Indian guy who I basically stopped coaching for a while because this guy is bench holding. It's almost like acting like an unteachable case because he gets depressed. He's also doing the cartel thing with stupid fucking mouth, right? In every single one of his fucking pictures. Yeah, he's doing that fucking thing. I'm looking at his Indian bench holding stupid fucking shit hair and skinny fat, just like the Latinos. And the Latinos, they're all like full, they all have a fucking double chin. You know that? It's either all the muscles are gone because of cortisol, and it happens to a lot of my students. Eats away all their muscle mass, or they got a fucking double chin. Like, oh, I know a double chin, I have a lot of cortisol. You look at all the cartel members, they're all like skinny fat looking. Like they're all skinny fat, and they're all just like the more dumber they look with the frown, the mouth curves downwards like this. The more they do that, the more they get arrested with crazier fucking charges. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just saying. And here's the emotional intelligence chart. Okay, so I think I'm gonna split your. You're gonna split your guts. Laughing so hard. You're gonna like burritos, right? Cocaine and no, don't get me started with that, right? Like Latinos are so fucking lazy, right? That if they have to do a homework assignment, they only send you like two of them, right? Because the third one that they don't send beyond two of them, they're having a fucking siesta. And in their country, a siesta means in the afternoon you take a fucking nap. Like they're so lazy, they have to take a fucking nap in the afternoon just to function. Or they're gonna overfry their fucking Pentium core. I'm not trying to be racist here. Johnny Lee is not racist. Don't take things I say out of context. I'm not insulting you. I'm not whatever. I'm describing you. I'm fucking describing you. It's like somebody needs to fucking say it. Give it a thumbs up. That Johnny Lee is not only funny. I wasn't trying to be funny. I'm just telling guys the truth. The truth is fucking hilarious. Why do you need a fucking siesta? Oh yeah, but a whole country has a siesta. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, try getting things done, right? Nothing gets done except crime. It's like that's the only thing that gets done. So when you look at the emotional guidance scale chart over here, it's like a spiral. There's a second one. In the beginning is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. That's gratitude. Do you think Latinos feel gratitude? No, they're like Zelensky, right? Emotionally retarded. Zelensky is so emotionally ungrateful, he does not get into this upper area of emotions. He's exactly like a Latino. There's no emotional intelligence. She's like, he just does the same this and then it curves like this. And you start asking for more money and be more corrupt. I mean, he might as well be a Latino for Zelensky. So just please do UFO. What do you mean UFO? So next one is passion. Number two is passion, right? You think Latinos have passion for life when they keep fucking failing at everything? Right? Zelensky and Latinos dress the same too. Yeah. I'm not trying to be racist. I know you're laughing at Latinos, right? But I'm just saying, I'm just speaking the truth here from my experience. I'm not discriminating against them. I'm not here to say that. I'm just saying they act like a Pentium 1 computer. I mean the UFO coaches, right? Yeah, I mean for them, they just go into Las Vegas, they end it in a cab, and that's a pole infield. Everything's a pole, UFO. that rhymes. It'd be a new T-shirt, right? Everything's a pole, UFO, right? And they show a picture of a cab, right? Like an alien going to a cab. That's UFO, right? It's like, well, you got to sexualize it. It's like, dude, all the students, right? Even the Italian student and all the Chinese student with 15 lays try to use UFO shit. Nobody got laid from it. Or when he got laid, it's like 4 out of 10. He's, it's not like an ugly guy for the Italian, but 4 out of 10 is like fucking, ew. And the other rest of the people, right? Bench holding, sucking off UMP, they're getting 3 out of 10s because UMP is like a Mr. Rocket Man. They'll sexualize it all the time, but half-ass sexualize it nonstop, being off the line. They'll turn off like at least 90% of women, and then 10% of them may like the sexualizing it, but she's like 3 out of 10 in looks. And then they get a bunch of quantity. You might as well just swipe on Tinder if you like war pigs. Seriously. It's like, so, bro, isn't even Mexican president paid off by the cartels? Yeah, she probably is paid off by the cartels because that's what Latinos do. They're just corrupt people. They have to be paid off, right? So, so number one is joy, all that appreciation, right? I'm telling Marco, which one are you on this list? It's like, oh, number 8. So he's like, of course. I make them do these gratitude assignments in the morning, right? Latinos and all these other emotionally retarded students like Indians. They have to write down 10 or 20 things they're grateful for, and they have to show me this chart. What number are you? Latinos are like, oh, I'm still stuck at number 8, or I'm still stuck at number like 6. They can never go beyond that. What's number 6? Number 7 is contentment. Okay, so number 2 is passion. Number 3 is enthusiasm. You'll never see an enthusiastic Latino because they're so busy being in debt because they're all broke. They're all fucking broke. Seriously. I'm not even joking about this. All Latinos either have $0 in their bank account until they get a next paycheck. If they're not just illegal immigrants or anything like that. No offense. There are a lot of Latino students, but most of my Latino students are in 5-figure debt. You wish they're in 4-figure debt. The more ADHD a student has, the more debt they have. And then when you look at Latino, how the fuck do you get 5-figure debt? Some of them have like $60,000 in debt. Some of them has $100,000. I was like, how the fuck did you reach that much debt in such a short time? But once they go like this, once they get frowned, right, they feel a little bit unhappy. Then they have to buy a bunch of stupid shit to make themselves feel better. They got to spend money like it's going to go out of style. They got to spend money like they're going to fucking snort it. I'm just joking. I'm just trying to be funny and, it's all a joke. I'm not trying to be racist or nothing. Don't take it out of context. But obviously, they're not going to fucking snort it. My students don't do drugs. None of my students are Latino do drugs that I know of. So far, none of them does. So a lot of my students, right, even if they're benevolent and they're nice people, they're still fucked up people. I mean, seriously, if you can kill 300,000 Americans due to fentanyl, you can sex traffic and move people, traffic people over the border, 12 million of them, and 46 out of the 50 are the murder capitals or Latin countries, not even African countries or anything like that, or Middle Eastern countries. It is fucking Latino countries. If you can't stop shooting each other in the fucking face and beheading each other, what kind of fucking mindset is that? Unteachable case. What the fuck? So don't take anything I say out of order and say, "Oh, John's racist." No, it's not that. Somebody needs to I'm not insulting you. I'm describing you. And if they find it funny, right, they can't stop fucking laughing, then I'm just speaking the fucking truth here, right? I'm not trying to be a comedian. It's just, how the fuck do you get into 5-figure debt? I couldn't even spend that much money if I tried. I know I'm cheap because I'm Chinese. But how the fuck do you spend 5 figures? I don't even know how the fuck to spend 5 figures. I could go on many vacations. I can't even spend 5 figures. What the fuck? Oh, because once the ADHD is there, then all the money has disappeared. I mean, you spend money even faster than my black students. And black students, they spend money like it's going to go out of style. It's like it's going to expire. So it's like a coupon, right? It's going to expire soon. You guys spend it all and be broke. But Latinos, they love to be in a 5-figure debt because who gives a shit? As long as they give you a credit card, pay off later. But, oh, you can't pay it off? Then fuck it. Fuck kind of mindset is that? It's like, and don't even get me started with the cortisol, right? The more they lose in life, the more cortisol, the double chin and stuff. Oh man, Latinos love to have their double chin and the cortisol. And they say they don't have any cortisol. But John, I was going to go for the poll, and girls says I don't sleep with guys on the first date. I'm not a slut. What is a good strategy? Well, you gotta do objections looping. So first of all, you gotta say, I cannot tell you because it's top secret just for my students. Then you gotta loop it until she says okay. So the objection, you'll keep dealing with it, but you can't deal with it without statements of empathy first. It's like judo. You got to acknowledge the objection first. Otherwise, because if you try to buy something, you don't acknowledge their objections, and you just skip past it and you try to deal with the objection, it's not going to work. So can't just karate chop it like 14 stupid charts of objections dealing with tall, self-proclaimed highly account coaches. That's like karate. You chop it, and you're going to get more of those objections during the inflation. That's the problem. So most of you cannot overcome it. Only my students know how to overcome it, but you're not dealing with the right objections. But at least you're dealing with a sexual objection. So, but there's a lot of steps in between. Flirting when she talks more, maneuvering, sexualizing it to the max, objections looping. There's a lot of things, right? But that's the only clue I can give you is to learn how to figure out how to loop it after statements of empathy. But I can't go any further because my students, they train it. Latinos don't like to train for shit, right? Latinos, they just love to fucking mass approach, and they love to run up a hill. It's like they love to respawn, they run up a hill without any skills. They're like, you can't even get a Latino to do a homework assignment more than 3 times. They run up the hill, they won't learn all these skills, and they get their head shot off and they respawn again, just looks, money, and statusing it. And they don't have any more status. They're 5 out of 10 now. Run up the hill again and get a shot off, and they do the same thing over and over. That's a Latino. Because their brains cannot handle 2 steps, not even dual core. Seriously. So yeah. But the objections looping has 3 steps. So if you're Latino and you're asking me that question, good luck. Don't take anything I say out of context, right? I'm just saying Latinos are unteachable cases. So when we look at down the chart, right? Number 3, enthusiasm. Number 4, positive expectations. Oh, you never expect positive expectations from Latinos because they're so ADHD. They don't get shit done. Give it a thumbs up if you're hearing like, for unteachable case. They'll never get shit done. Ever. There's no positive expectations. They're just waiting for the next time to get kicked in the nuts from life. So I asked highly count guy, you want to know why he No, I don't. What are you supposed to say? Like, I mean, why would you ask people like that? If how many late testimonials did he get like last year or this year? One? Last year or two? Like, what will you possibly learn from a guy with 1 or 2 fucking late testimonials? This is like some night game shit. Just why listen to them for a day game? They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. So, all right, let me continue. Wait a minute. Don't I know you? Let me check your channel. Look at the avatar. You're not like somebody I just kicked out, right? From the coaching. I remember that name. If this is the same one, right? Let me just double check. If it's you, I'll block you. Where is it? Why is WhatsApp not working so well? Let me just double check. No, that's a different name. Let's see. No, it's not the same. Never mind. All right. Carry on. Carry on. So, all right. As I was saying, okay, just stop listening to people with like so few student results in Daygame. I mean, imagine, it's funny. I just posted a student with 15 lays, 5 models, 5 white girls, 2 actresses, and he married one. And he's a father. He has a daughter now. The Chinese guy, right? For the last video testimonial. And nobody gave a fuck. Is that weird? Like, who goes from fucking zero lays to maybe just luckily one after 5 years of RSD boot camp in the Latin shithole country, right? Spain. Spain people are like, oh, we're not Latinos, we're Europeans. It's like, no, you're not. You are fucking Latinos, right? You're just more white looking. Don't you can't fucking fool me. You get 1% of Latino blood and right? I swear, there's more schizophrenics that are from Spain than anywhere else in the world. Like, so seriously, like, boom, like bend shoulder, right? It's just like shit, not again, right? Holy shit. Do I have ever had students, right, that literally think I flew over there and learned from them? I wasn't there, dude. I fucking take your medication and did, and then I finally woke up and I was like, oh, I had no idea what came over me. I'm glad you told me to take my antipsychotics. It's like, yeah, motherfucker. Spain, right? It's just like it's just another way of just like pen shoulder. It's just another a way of frying a computer, right? Like sparks everywhere, right? It's power supply, just fucking crazy. So does that mean that I should never impregnate a Latino, a Latina? Well, I would say that a lot of my students have impregnated a Latina, but nothing says borderline personality disorder that's working as a nurse more than Latinas. Here's the thing about Latinas, not to be racist, right? Don't take it out of context to be racist. But this is the truth. Most Latinas are only like 8.5 out of 10 in looks. They can never go beyond 8.5. Genetically is impossible. Just like Latinos, they can never look beyond 7 out of 10. They're all God is like, okay, listen, you guys are gonna kill each other the most, more than Middle Eastern people, gonna murder your own people, and you are absolutely going to kill like 300,000 Americans. I don't want to speaking like in vain for God's name. I'm just saying, just a joke. Why are you guys finding this so funny? It's not like a fucking like it's not like a comedy channel or a comedian channel, but it's like God's like, okay, you guys are going to be completely self-destructive. You can only work with your hands. You cannot use your brains. You're a little bit olive. Here, have a little bit more looks, right? Averagely, you're all 7 out of 10, right? Kind of like black people, you know? They're gonna fuck with you for the rest of your life. Not gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna be tall and you're gonna be strong, not that good looking in the face. Here, have a little bit more dick. Right? It's like Chinese people, right? Gonna be short. You may not have the biggest thing down there, but we're gonna make you fucking smart as shit. Right? Indians. I'm not gonna say anything. So, but you get the point. A little bit of tech knowledge. That's all I'm gonna say. Asperger's. But that's the thing. That's like God. It's like Latinos, you're crazy, but have a little bit looks. Latinas, they're gonna be good looking, but not super good looking, unless they're half white. Then they're able to reach into the higher stratosphere beyond 8.5. But they can't go beyond 8.5 if they're fully Latina. But they're all gonna have like some kind of borderline personality disorder, and they're all gonna be crazy. They're gonna be like Amber Heard crazy, right? So they're gonna be super emotional and completely sociopathic, but they're gonna be very loyal to their man, and they're gonna be like good in bed. That's Latin people for you. So, but yeah, I mean, at least the Latinas can be nurses, right? They can think a little bit to some degree. The guys are just like dumb cavemen. So I use my hands to work. Oh, here I'm working. Oh, look at me. Oh, I'm doing stuff. My hands. Every fucking job involves using their hands. Latinos cannot work without using their hands because their brain don't fucking work. So, all right, I forgot. Oh yeah, I was talking about emotional intelligence, right? The Latinos, like when you look at the cartel members and they're frowning and shit. Um, I had a point here for a second. I swear I had a point. But if we look at the emotional stability chart, right? And most Latinos are not even mentally stable for it. So number one, so I teach my students how to be more grateful. So they'll do an exercise. For example, I'm grateful that I have an audience here. I'm grateful I'm the best Daygame coach in the world. that nobody can beat me, and no matter how hard they try, they're gonna lose, and I'm gonna win again, and I'm gonna piss on everyone's sensibilities. Thank you, God, for the abilities that you've given me. Nobody can beat me ever. They can try, and they just get their heads kicked, like their teeth kicked in every single year. I'm gonna win again. My students are gonna get married. They're gonna procreate. It's like kind of urinate off of them. Thank you. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my phone because it folds in half. Who invented this weird shit? So it looks like. I'm grateful for um I'm grateful for my nice watches. Why am I not wearing a watch right now? What am I doing? Oh, yeah. I'm wearing my Pepsi watch. Forgot all about this. Matches my outfit. So that's like four things. The more you write down the list of things you're grateful for, the better. And if it's meaningful. I'm grateful that I got so many students late. I already said that. That's five. I'm grateful for my computer. That's like a 10 core processor, not like a Latino Pentium 1. So, yeah, if you do it every single day, because what's the worst emotion, right? If you look at number 22, right? What's the emotion? Fear, grief, depression, powerless, victim. That's Latinos for you. They're all like, I don't have like, this is all Latinos. I'm not depressed. My voice is not depressed. They look exactly like cartel members. They all look like with sociopathic eyes. Let me try to do the sociopathic eyes. Okay, hold on a second. All right. Well, I'm not a sociopath. That's hard. Okay. Watch. All right, hold on a second. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Man, hold my breath. They curl their lips too when you do this. There's always like on the side angle when they get arrested by ICE. They're like their lips curl outwards like this. The more dumber they look, right? The more likely they're gonna kill more people. The mugshots. They look kind of like Asian a little bit because they got black hair, a little bit olive, and how they so. We'll take this out of context and call me racist. I'm just saying that's what they look like. I mean, I have a picture of the cartel people. I posted on my community section. Every single picture of them. This is what a Latino looks like. John, if we have Elite Bundle 2, do you want to do we go to your site to access the material? Oh, it's hosted on the Google Drive. So it'll be on your Google Drive under the share with me. That's where you can watch the course. It's like the first one's like 5 hours and 15 minutes, but it's like a long video. But then it has like the modules all labeled. If that makes sense. And also for Elite Playbook is a 16 hours. It has a good video player on the Google Drive. And the good thing about Google Drive is that I don't have to pay for server fees like Kajabi and stuff, right? And I host the Elite Daygame for steps over your WhatsApp. Also, the bonus video on the Google Drive, and same with the soundtrack too, right? But now my mouth is stuck like Marco, right? When I do this, it's hard to get out of it, right? It's so stupid. But when they're smiling, it still looks like a frown when you smile. So, gotta say, Elite 30 is great. Highly recommended. John's course. Thank you very much, right? You must not be Latino. That's my favorite, Kim Jong Il, right? Kim Jong Il. Totally awesome. So let me take a look. Is it here okay? Yes, it's fine. Have you gone out there and approached yet? Right? Didn't I tell you the approach like an hour ago? Shit, I can't stop doing that. Maybe try to find somewhere else. Head back out there. Right? get me some infields. Last time you did good, but try to go for instant date this time. Yeah, so it's a hard case student. So imagine having Samika as your. Well, I don't know who that is, so I don't watch TV. Yeah, yes, sir. Don't yes sir me. Get the fuck out there and figure a way, adapt. Right? It's not a lack of resources; it's a lack of resourcefulness. Adapt. Right? Always try to figure out a way to adapt. Be innovative. Right? Last time, last time when you didn't go for the instant date because the mall closed, that was a lack of adaptation, a lack of resourcefulness. Yeah. I mean, you're killing. So yeah, I'm just joking, right? I don't hate Latinos or anything like that, right? So don't take things out of context. But their annoying behavior is fucking annoying the shit on me. So okay, let's look at the emotional intelligence chart again. We're trying to get through it. Um, of course, I am correct. When have I ever been wrong? Right? Don't be like a Latino where you have this one track mind and start to decide what's right and wrong with stubbornness. I'm, I'm just joking. I'm roasting Latinos right now on YouTube Live. You better not be here in the fucking crowd, right? Being that Kim Jong Il guy, not fucking approaching, but watching my YouTube Live. I told you not to. All right. So, all right. So, emotional retardation chart. Yes, I'm just saying I'm focused. Right? I can't focus right now, like a Latino. Oh, I got ADHD now. I got severe ADHD. Oh, I can't do the homework assignment. Oh, it's gonna take 2 more days. I'm gonna take a break, right? I'm gonna send you 2 assignments, and I'm gonna sweat fucking butter. Yes, I say I'm gonna understand. Okay, so all right, here's the emotional retardation chart. I said my Indian student. So how about we go from like instead of top down, right? We go bottom up. So the worst one that Latinos are stuck in is the fear, grief, depression, powerless victim, right? They're always like in that state of mind because Latinos, right? Because the 5 steps of Latino fuck behavior. Number one, one track mind, one step for everything, like a Pentium, fast talking cortisol, overheating cortisol, right? And number two, the wrong path, the sociopath, it blows up in their face, sparks fly everywhere, the power supply. In 4 months, they have a meltdown, number three. Number four, they quit because they're too stubborn to quit. Number five, they resurrect themselves to go back to step one. So how can the Latinos not be depressed, full of ADHD and cortisol and skinny fat? Not trying to be racist. Like I said, none of these things I'm saying. I'm just speaking the truth. And I don't feel like, being tactful and it may sound insultive, but somebody needs to fucking hear this. I mean, am I supposed to be like ABCs of attraction and be like, hey guys, I'm not gonna offend anybody. I'm gonna speak to you like you're dumb little sheeps. Hey sheeps, I'm gonna take your money when you go to a Latino fuck behavior country. I'm gonna be super nice to you. But get this, I'm gonna be super nice to all of you, and I speak like this so I don't trigger your massive Latino egos. That's how they kind of speak like. I can speak like that too. I can speak exactly like that and be very nice. Hey, get this, get this. Like, that's not. I'm not gonna fucking talk like that. I'm just gonna speak the fucking truth. Somebody needs to call a spade a spade. Like fuck. So all right, let's start with the bottom one: the Latino fuck behavior, grit, fear, grief, depression, powerless, victim. Then insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. Okay. Then jealousy, hatred, rage. revenge, right? That's Latinos, right? Because you're always wrong, right? They're always right, and they always lose like all their fucking money. They're always right. They're always in debt. The anger, right? The discouragement. That's when the whole right. So make sure I got that right angle. Okay, well, eyes. Then the curl. Discouragement. Oh. I forgot the double chin. Hold on a second. There's all that cortisol, right? By not actually doing things, by losing so much. So that low IQ look, right, that they have. That's what I'm saying. But that's how a lot of the students are like. And they have no emotional intelligence, right, in this chart. And then they tell me, I don't feel depressed, John. It's like, but you sound fucking depressed. There's somebody fucking should tell this guy, holy shit. Like, you tell him, like, this guy sounds like totally depressed. I can't hear it. Well, you can't hear shit because you're fucking delusional. Then like, anger and discouragement. Oh, I'm gonna quit now. It's like, you have a meltdown, right? Another meltdown, Latino, huh? Oh, another meltdown. Here we go again. So it's always like, oh, here we go again, right? Here we go again. And then blame, right? The shift of blame is never their fault. Like a bunch of sociopaths, because sociopaths have to win at all costs. If they have to win at all costs, how can they lose? But they are losers. Oh, can never accept it. Somebody else's fault. It's your fault, John. It's all your fault. Not my fault. 659 latent poll testimonials. How is it my fault? I mean, it's your fault for not following instructions because you have opinions as facts, right? Not facts as opinions. They're delusional. They're like Charles Manson, right? They have the crazy looking eyes, and then they have opinions as facts. No, it has to be this way. It has to be this way. It's like out of 99 different things, right? That you can choose. Johnny Lee says, okay, maybe number 78 is that solution, right? Focus on 78, get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the other ones. They're like, nope, it is number 2 every single time, right? The next solution. Okay, now we're doing a different homework assignment to drill it down so you get the habits, right? Latinos the habits. Yeah, right. So basically, to drill it down, it's like this one is number 66, okay? This is the solution. Latino was like, nope, it's number 2 again. It's like, what the fuck? You're wrong, John. I'm getting offended. You should be nicer to people. You're a bully. I've been called bully from like 2 unteachable cases. The black student calls me a bully, and others call me bully. But others don't. They're like, what are you talking about? John's never bullied me before. He might have got a little bit tough maybe 3 times. So I asked another student that because the other Jewish white student, when he was a bad student, I started yelling at him twice. The second time, he lost his shit. And I asked all the other students, how many times did I really yell at you? He's like, oh, no, it's because they're nice to you. They're minions. They always say the same shit. You're minions. You're minions, right? You minions. They fucking triggered fucking narcissists. And guess what? They all said, no, we're not minions. We just like just only yell at us like once or twice. Some people said, no, I don't remember you ever yelling at me because they're good students. Latinos, oh man, they might get yelled at a bit, you know? So you have to be on the line or off the line. So if they're off the line, right, like Latinos, right, like their virus-filled brains and their sparks coming out of their power supply, overheating, and also just doing the opposite, the operating system of their Pentium 1, they're still get yelled at. Get on the fucking line. They get offended. I'd rather do it my way. It has to be, no, this is how you put on the pomade on your hair. No, I only put it on the outside. I don't just go through the inside. Oh, fuck. No, I like my hairstyle. I dig my hairstyle. No, it's really long. It looks stupid. No, but my hair is It's all for fuck's sakes, right? It's like, oh, here we go again. Oh, here we go. And you're like, what? No, my hair is like that. Oh, for fuck's sakes, like, you're just like, oh my God, why do I teach people like this, right? Why are they part of the coaching? Why not just fucking ban every single one of them and just move them out of the program like ice and just say future people, you know, can't just illegally get into my coaching. It's not because they're Latinos. I can't ban people or just kick them all out because they're Latinos. That would be discrimination. But somehow I don't have to teach unteachable cases who don't follow instructions. And that, I mean, that doesn't help business. I can choose who I work with. So if it just incidentally all Latinos are unteachable cases, then that's not my fault. And the best they can do is maybe go through the mindset playlist, write down their problems, listen to the audio, hard reset, and then they can jump one spot to an impossible case. Maybe there'll be less sparks flying out of their fucking power supply, right? Just a little bit less, just enough for them to do their homework before they lose their minds. Some of the students are losing their minds in like Marco, 7 days, right? He finally did the whitewash tonality exercise, and for once, and now he's passed it, and he still loses his fucking mind. The Vietnamese students, the other students, they're all losing their minds in like 2 or 3 days now during the tariff. 2 days tariff day, right? Donald Trump, the first day of the tariffs, always a wonderful tariffs, the greatest tariffs of all time. It's gonna be good for America. Tariffs, you know. That way we kick them over the border. Tom Homan, right? ICE doing a good job. Kick all the Latinos out, you know, get them all over the country because they don't belong here in America, the great land of America. I'm Donald Trump. Get them all over here. We might do the same. But above that, discouragement, they got blame, they got worry, then you got like doubt, then you got disappointment. It's like Latinos, they live in this zone, right? Marco's like, I don't feel any of that, but he lives in this fucking zone. Then you got overwhelmed, right? Oh no, once the Latino gets overwhelmed and overheated, you have to do more than 2 steps, right? Then the brain they don't fucking do the homework. Oh no, they're overwhelmed, like, oh, I can barely do this. Like, stop fucking sweating. Like, why is cortisol coming out of your fucking pores? Do your homework. It's like, and they get overwhelmed and they get like frustration, irritation, impatience. Oh, I don't get this point of this assignment. It's like, okay, and just go out there, mass approach, run up the hill, get your head shot off, respawn, and keep doing that. Looks money statusing it, right? Your looks is all 7 out of 10, every single one of you, except got a little bit more double chin now because of inflation. So a little bit more double chin than before. But guess what? Your emotions are shit. It's like minus 1.5 for Latinos now because they're so fucking poor. They're in survival mode due to the hierarchy of human needs, right? The Maslow chart of human needs. They're just stuck in their food, water, shelter, and all this other shit, right? Temperature control, toilet, right? All this other stuff. They're stuck in that lower sort of state of mind. So they're always stressed out. So what was I saying? They're getting the frustration, irritation, impatience, and then they just can't do their fucking homework. It's like the reason why Latinos can always work with their hands and never get ahead is because they get fucking disappointed, frustrated, irritated, impatient. But if you did it for 7 days, like Marco for the homework assignment for the whitewash tonality, 7 fucking days, I said, listen, motherfucker, right? If you don't act like Americano and, you know, and you do your fucking homework assignment, I'm just joking, right? I don't even know what that means. But if you do your fucking homework assignment for 7 days, you won't get banned. He does it for 7 days. He levels up. Now he can do it forever. Whitewash tonality. Good job. And he took the fucking supplements. And Latinos are, oh, need supplements. And their whole brain is like a fucking Pentium one with sparks flying everywhere. It's like, you do need some supplements to make sure it doesn't fucking have sparks flying everywhere from the power supply. So, hey, John, get off topic. Okay, explain in general why. Well, it's very easy. Very, very easy. So let me answer that question, okay, before we roast Latinos again. This is supposed to be a future topic, roasting Latinos. Now this whole topic become roasting Latinos. All right, let me continue. So let's say, for example, I try to sell you a gold watch, right? Like this. And maybe you don't like it with the rubies and stuff, right? So Daytona watch, Rolex Daytona. And then, I say, hey, you should buy this watch. And you don't want to hurt my feelings, right? Because I'm very enthusiastic. this is the greatest watch, whatever, costs $130,000 or something. Has stones and everything in it. Get this watch. And you're like, oh, you know, you don't want to hurt my feelings. So you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love that. I love stones in your watch. I love the goldness, right? It's wonderful, right? Oh, Rolex. Oh, I love Rolexes, right? Everyone loves Rolexes. And then later on, when I start to give you my business card and try to email you, you flake. So that's exactly what's happening with women. You're getting positive reactions because of autism. Does that make sense? Of autism because you think that because Mystery is autistic too. He's Asperger's with monotone. Hey, I'm Mystery. I'm very monotone. I'm looking for indicators of interest and I'm pausing like a cortisol zombie because I'm Mystery. So that's the problem. When you use the Mystery method IOIs, because you can't read facial expressions, and I can read all her facial expressions now. Before I couldn't, like emotionally, until I went through mental trauma here. Now I can read everything perfectly. All the emotions, 100% accurate. So trauma can affect emotions, but also the lack of emotion. Latinos can have no emotional intelligence. But the reason why you cannot see that is because you're Asperger's or autistic, and you can only read you can read two facial expressions. Okay. Let me answer the question before you start replying. Right? Thanks, John. Makes sense. You, Arabs and blacks after? That sounds racist. No, I'm not going to insult Arabs, right? Stubborn Arabs and black students who cannot stop spending money like and go out of style. I'm not going to do that because I have black students, and I used to have Arab students. One of them was so stubborn that he quit. He rage quit because he couldn't do his homework assignment. Maybe too much cortisol. He got fat like a Latino. But yeah. So having said that, all right, what the fuck was I trying to say? Oh yeah. So yeah, that answers your question. But I also said something else. I lost my train of thought. Right. So can you I lost my train of thought. But that's exactly why, right? So if you can't read the facial expressions, you're looking for positive reactions. You rather look for positive compliance. So even if Latinos are like, oh, I thought the infield was pretty good from that zombie student because she's engaging with them. It's positive reaction. They're emotionally blind, right? You try to tell Latino that they sound like they're depressed, right? They can only hear, oh, I can hear a little bit of a sigh at the end of the sentence. It's like there's no emotional processing. It's like they can't identify. They can only hear physically on the surface level. That's why you're getting flaked on. So the more she acts fake and overly nice, the more you're gonna get flaked on. Does that make sense? It's like your emotional blindness. It's like I had like a Vietnamese student. He was like fucking delusional as shit, and he's like, "Excuse me, real quick, I have a question. I was like looking for a place to stuff," and that's how he talked like. And then he's like, he talks super fast, and she's getting nervous because he's talking fast, and he can't even see that he's creeping her out. Then he puts his arm around her, and she's like giving a fake smile, like please don't touch me, right? And that signals to other people when they see that picture of them together that she's just trying to be nice. Anytime they're trying to be overly nice, they're gonna flake on you. They have to be real with you, and you have to read their expressions. And if you can't read their expressions, listen to their voice. But if you're delusional like a Latino, right? If you cannot hear that, yeah, yeah, great. I got a boyfriend. Or, yeah, great, great. I gotta get going. If you can't hear that in their voice for women, yeah, and that's why they call, like I said, that's what they call Latinos, right? They can't hear shit. I don't hear anything. There's nothing wrong with my infield. Hear any negative emotion from her? You're making this up, John. You're gaslighting me. That's not like a Latino. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's like, I don't hear anything wrong. For infield, we're trying to make this up. Anyone else will say stuff like that. My infield is good. All right. So, all right. Enough trolling, right? How the fuck? I'm goofy. So, that may be the perfect thumbnail. Yeah, exactly. I have to find where it is and then use it. and just put like an arrow, right? It says Latino fuck behavior. I used to be quite a good troll back in the day. Maybe I need to get back to trolling because Donald Trump likes to troll a lot. Because people will forgive you when you can make them laugh, you know? And nothing's funnier than talking about Latinos because they don't actually like, they're so irrational, right? They process their information so fucked up that they think they're reasonable. They actually think that everyone thinks like them. Everyone's like having a siesta like them. So as I'm saying, let's go up the emotional retardation chart. I mean, scale chart. So yeah, you got frustration, irritation, impatience when they can't do their homework assignment. You got pessimism. Oh, but Daygame, maybe that's not for them, right? It's like, well, duh. Unless your mind students actually do the drill, it's not for you. You have like a 5 out of 10 perceived natural status because Donald J. Trump, yes, Donald J. Trump has taken away your SMV, Donald Trump. That's the thing, because you no longer have SMV anymore because of Donald Trump. You're taking it away from the border. And then now it's like the second time that Donald Trump has taken away your SMV. Now that you don't have it, you're 5 out of 10, you're no longer 6 out of 10 like last time when Biden, the worst president of the United States, Joe Biden, I got to work on my Trump impression, right? Like Donald Trump, Joe Biden, the far left, the worst president in the United States. They lowered your SMV, and then first time around, the first ice raids, like you came like 6 out of 10. Now you're like 5 out of 10. Donald J. Trump gonna make America great again. I gotta work on that. But as I was saying, I actually imported a Donald Trump hat from China. From China. I get like a Donald Trump hat from China. From China. We're gonna tariff China 25% of the tariffs that they have done to us, China, we're gonna tariff China. But the hat's coming, right? The MAGA hat. If it doesn't arrive, then the fucking Chinese guy probably stole the fucking hat. Did not ship it, and then Amazon is giving me back my money. I have to order another hat before I make the other future video talking about Latinos. But this video talks a lot about Latinos, so I might not even need to make the other video on Unteachable Case of Latinos because I can just cut this part out and put it in the video section. Then there you go. It's like killing two birds with one stone, or throwing two over the border with one ice. No, I was joking. All right, I'm so funny. I just didn't realize that. I'm hilarious. Okay, let's continue. So you got boredom, pessimism, right? Then you got boredom. Oh, Latinos get bored, right? You gotta do homework assignments, runs away. It's like an Indian person, right? They'll disappear for as long as possible for a couple of weeks, wasting their elite access. And then afterwards, this is only the middle, right? We only got to the middle of the emotional retardation chart. This is where Latinos resides, and they don't even know it. They can't feel emotions. They can feel feelings. Feelings is like when you put your hand on the stove and it burns, right? You're like, ouch. That's a feeling. It's a physiological response. When Latinos get triggered, right, because of low self-esteem. How dare you say that, Joe? And their face goes like, they start scrunching their face, right? It's like a physiological response. That's not like an emotional response. It's not like a identifiable emotion. Triggered is like a shock to the system. Always like when you start breathing in like a vacuum cleaner, like right? It's like a Latina maid or something, right? I wouldn't say it's a gangster face. I hope you're not like my other Vietnamese student that is still here watching the YouTube live. Get out there and approach Kim Jong Un. If that's you, I'm not sure, right? So I don't know which one's which. So I said that boredom, and then it got contentment, right? You never see a Latino content with life. You got hopefulness. Oh, there's no hope with Latinos. The only hope they have is to be meeting ICE and going over there, right? Over the border. Optimism. What optimism? They're running away from their jobs, right? Their taco stands in New York. Positive expectations and belief. Nope. The only thing they get is just to flood more Latinos in New York and all these sanctuary cities, and then, and then work these labor-intensive jobs and frown like crazy. And then just like literally take other people's jobs and do nothing. So, oh no, the Democrats are like, we can't get rid of Latinos. Who's going to pick your fruits? It's like, they actually said that, like Nancy Pelosi or something. It's like, what do you mean picking the fruits? What the fuck? It's like another, using your hands kind of job, right? Latinos, like picking fruits. Ah, so, or they're gardening. I was joking. I like my Latino gardener. So having said that, enthusiasm. They don't have enthusiasm. Number two, passion. What passion? And then number one, knowledge, joy, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. I mean, what gratitude? You literally can make them write like 20 things, and then they say, I still feel like number eight or something, right? It's like a Latino student for emotions, boredom, right? So, okay, they write me another 20, right? I still feel like, okay, now it's number seven. Write me another 20. Now it's number six. Write me another 20. Now it's number six. Write me another 20. There's like 80 of them. Now it's number six. Write me another 20. Number six. Next day, right? Back to fucking depressed. Back to number 22. So, passion to grow coca. So, having said that, now let's continue to read from the. Okay, I'm totally off topic here. Totally off topic. But they're like a video game character who keeps running up a hill with no upgrades or skills or points for unteachable cases. Latinos. They charge ahead only to get killed by the same obstacles over and over again. Latinos. They respawn and try the same strategy and die again and again and never learning from their mistakes with the one track mind. Latinos. So if you're watching this and you're willing to listen, congratulations. You're not unteachable. I mean, you're not Latino. So, all right. So having said that, if you're a hard case, right? Which is good. Not Latinos, because they're not hard cases. They're all unteachable cases this year. The worse the economy gets, the more they frown upside down, the more money disappears out of their pocket. And the more depressed they get, the more ADHD. It's like the winner and loser effect. The more you win, the more testosterone you get. The more you lose, the more cortisol you get. And Latinos, the more cortisol they get, the more they get. You know, that's why they have that look. Because sometimes if you have a lot of setbacks, you have this. You know, yeah. Luckily, I don't have a double chin, right? Dear God, thank you for me not having a double chin, because I'm not a fucking loser. Amen. All right. So your hard case, right? That means there's hope for you, just like that Vietnamese student. So let's start defining what that means. Hard cases aren't hopeless, but they're trapped in their own head. They overthink everything, they procrastinate, and they cling to delusions that hold them back. So, number one, they have low self esteem. Hard cases often struggle with deep rooted self esteem issues. They doubt their own worth and abilities, which makes them hesitant to take action. Unlike unteachable cases, right? Latinos, who are completely detached from reality and they believe that they already are perfect, right? Like an Indian, like a Latino. Indians always believe they're perfect, right? You can never be wrong about anything. They're perfect. Shift the blame, they're perfect. So, hard cases knows they need help, right? Like the Vietnamese student. They just don't know how to get out of their own way because they always are in their own head. They're always thinking all the time. I'm not sure if it's an Asperger thing, but they have very logical jobs. They think all the time. It doesn't fucking stop thinking until I make them do the mindset playlist, and then they hear their own mental vaccine, and then they shut the fuck up and they start to say yes sir, and they fucking do it. On teachable cases, you can never make the vaccine with the variants that needs to be handled because they'll never write what their problems are. They're so self-deception and delusional. But hard cases, at least they're coachable. So unteachable cases are arrogant in their incompetence. They think that they're better than everyone else. And even if they fail repeatedly, they'll say things like, oh, women are the problem or the system is rigged. Really? system's rigged. It's more like you're a Pentium 1 processor brain. Instead of looking in the mirror and addressing their own flaws. No, but you got John, you're the one self-projecting. No, I'm not self-projecting. I'm explaining to you because I'm the world's best day game coach. I'm not self-projecting. I'm saying this is what your problem is. How will you know what other people's problems are when you're delusional? Latinos? I'm talking about you. All the time you try to shift blame and not take responsibility and pull the handbrakes, and you never get anywhere. Why don't you just blame yourself and then start to change rather than calling yourself a sociopath or fucking autistic? Okay, fine, ADHD, right? You say, yeah, you're that. But the better question is, okay, let's just operate with that. Let's just say this is what you are. I mean, all Latinos are like, most of them are kind of sociopathic. I'm looking at scientific studies. And they're looking at the criminals versus the normal people. They both have the same kind of sociopathic responses, except they're not criminals. It's like the same fucking brain. They're just not killing each other all the time. They're shooting each other, right? Like Latinos, right? They just can't stop it. I remember one time I forgot where it is, El Salvador or somewhere, right? One of the presidents there, they threw all the fucking Latino fuck behavior gangsters and they put them all in jail. Like, and the whole country became peaceful. They literally raided every single gangster. They just threw them in jail without due process. It wasn't Venezuela. It was somewhere in Ecuador. I forgot where it was, but it was another country. And there was a president there, and they say, "Oh, you can use our prisons too, right, for deporting Latinos." But that guy, whoever that brilliant guy was, he literally will let all the Latinos from the United States go there to be processed. He's like, "We got plenty of room in our jail with all these crazy fucking gangsters there." Like, El Salvador. Yeah, that's right. So I have students that are El Salvadorian, several of them. And usually I think a lot of them are mixed. But man, a little bit like low functioning. Having said that, yeah, El Salvador, that's correct. I say El Salvador is the greatest country now, thanks to their president. I think let's give him a round of applause, El Salvadorian president, for throwing all of those gangsters into jail and the whole country becomes safe. No more murderers everywhere, right? We gotta keep clapping because that's awesome. Somebody was like Johnny Lee, right? It just says, "No more, motherfucker." You know, put their foot down and it says, "You want to have Latino fuck behavior and keep shooting each other with a one-track mind? Throw them all in jail." I think that guy's a hero. Sometimes you gotta do that because it works. So exactly. So, but they can't help it because they have a one-track mind. Oh, I need a tattoo, right? I need a tattoo. Oh. No, that's great because they cannot help it, right? They can't give themselves away. They cannot stop because they're one-track mind. Because you can tell, right? If they have a tattoo and they're just doing this, right? Then fucking arrest them. Just throw them in jail. You already know, right? Just when they have the dumb look, right? That low IQ look. The more that they're gonna kill more people and they shoot other people in the face with a fucking Glock or AK-47, right? That look. Or the more they did go and do more grape, right? The more they, because the lack of emotional intelligence and sociopathic behavior with a low emotional scale chart, the more they do, right? The more grape happens. It's like the rap sheet, right? Whenever they deport people from the United States, it's always like grape, 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 stealing, murder, grape, murder, grape, grape. It's like there's so much grape. It's like dun grape, dun grape, 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 dun dun grape. Right? When I story of shopping in El Salvador, right? And then posted and nobody did anything. Yeah. The president is a hero. He's the greatest hero of all time, right? This is what you need to do in every Latin country, right? Just fucking throw them all in jail and let the rest of the people live in peace. So they stop shooting each other. It's bad genes. Like Donald Trump said, they have bad genes, right? You know, it's like a race war. They got bad genes. They come in our country, right? They're rapists. They're whatever. And some of them might be good people. Exactly. So and here's the problem with the Latinas, right? When they're in a Latin country, right? And a Chinese person goes over there, if they don't get fucking scopolamine in Colombia and then murdered and ransom and still kill them anyways, right? Crazy Latinos. Then you have more SMV because you have thorough money status advantage, high status job, exotic advantage, right? All these other things. I forgot what it was. High status job, lifestyle. So you go to Latin country, you have all these things, right? So Latinas are like really nice to Asian men. You go over there, ABC can charge you like $10,000 or 6,000, 8,000, whatever the fuck. You go over there, you swipe, you don't even need them, right? You already have 800 matches in like a couple hours with Latinas because they're a poor country. So, but when you're in the United States and you try to go for a Latina, right? And they're all sociopaths, by the way. That's why they're so flaky. They give a fake smile all the time. So if you don't same day lay a Latina, she's gonna flake on you. Unless you're really like muscular, like a Ninja Turtle, big on steroids. Or you're like an Asian that's like 5'11" and you're good looking, you're super muscular, you're super shallow. Because they have big hips, they want a guy with big barrel chest, right? That's why I'm making my other Vietnamese student V-shaping his body, he's looking bigger. That's what's going to attract a Latina. Unless you have like a super V shape, then they're going to flake on you. You have to same day lay them, right? Because if you don't same day lay a Latina, you'll never hear from her again. They're like the flakiest women in the world. And they pretend to be nice to you. That's where the other guy, Drizzy, whatever, was talking about. Why did they flake on you and give you fake reactions? You're talking about Latinas. And they're all fucking crazy. They're always like emotional, like borderline. And some of them are violent. They'll literally fucking punch you. I know. I used to date Latinas. And never again. I'm just saying they're fucking crazy. And they're flaky too. I can assure you that. You have to close it on the first day. Even if you finger them, right? It's not enough. You have to close it on that same day lay, or they're gone forever. But that's how they just give a fake smile. That's why Latinos always give a fake smile. And they flake. Because you don't have big enough hips and a big V shape and a big protector status. They're shallow with a fake smile. And they don't feel guilt, but they only feel care for their people. But they're borderline. They always have this, they always argue with you. They're fucking crazy in a relationship. They just, with a crazy borderline personality. And they're all nurses too. That's the funny thing. All Latinas are nurses, like almost all of them. Like, how the fuck are there so many Latino nurses in America? What's your job? Are you a nurse? Of course. It's like, you're a nurse too, right? Yep. How do you know that? It's just a lucky guess. And you're a nurse too. Like, yes, I am. We're all nurses. We all work in the same hospital. Oh, yeah, of course. Makes a lot of sense, right? The only good looking Latinas beyond 8.5 out of 10 are like the mixed Latinas. If they're half white, then they could cross over to 8.5 barrier. If they're below 8.5, no, they're stuck there with their big foreheads, their big asses, right? And their olive skin. Of course, some people find that very appealing. They're very curvy, with dark ass nipples. Right? They like that. Latinas. Their dark hair, their ratty looking Mexican hair. That's like, it's not like an Asian hair. It's very frizzy, but it's nice. But that's the thing. They will flake on the Asian men because the lack of protective status, unless they got a V shape and they have a big body like a Ninja Turtle. So you want to bulk up. If you like Latinas, you're Asian, you have to be super, super big. You got to start injecting more, your vitamins and minerals. Otherwise, they're just not going to give a fuck. Super shallow. Bulkier the better. Bulkier the better. More V-shaped the better. Taller the better. So, don't even get me started with Filipinas. Don't even get me started with Filipinas. Right? I'm not gonna say anything. So, all right. So having said that, women are the okay. They'll say things like women are the problem or the system's rigged instead of looking at the mirror and addressing their own flaws. But yeah, but basically what I'm saying is that you shouldn't blame the Latinos, or neither should I. It's just like they're like that. You go over to a Latin country to open their legs. If you're in the United States, you better inject steroids. I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying, like, it's just how they think. You move a Latina into American territory, her brain will think differently. He's super flaky. You move her to back to a Latin country, legs open up like crazy toward foreigners. It's just how it works. It's just how it works. All right. So number 2, procrastination and delusions. Hard cases spend more time planning than doing. They convince themselves that they're preparing. Oh, but John, before I get started, I gotta listen to Elite 30 first, right? Before I learn from Elite Access. But in reality, they're avoiding the discomfort of taking action. They watch endless videos. They read endless books, listen to endless podcasts. They overanalyze every detail. But when it's time to approach, they freeze. Unteachable cases take this step a bit further. They don't even pretend to prepare. Instead, they procrastinate endlessly, like a Latino, and make excuses for their inaction, Latinos. And they'll blame me for everything, Latinos. So I don't get along with the mental issue. If you tease them, they take it. Oh, they'll take it very personally, and they'll probably punch you sometime. All right, let's continue. And they'll say things like, "Oh, I'll start next week," or "I need to work on my mindset first," or actually, no, that's wrong. I wrote that wrong. But that's next week. Never comes, right? The Latino unteachable cases is always next week. They love to take breaks for weeks at a time, disappear, and then they start to, and they say, "I don't feel depressed." And the low IQ. I'm not saying like they're all low IQ, but I'm just saying that's what they look like. They have low IQ, and you have to be racist. Don't take anything I say out of context. I'm just speaking the truth that nobody's willing to say, because every single video, I just tell you guys the truth. I don't know how to market. It's like, John, you suck at marketing. It's like, yeah, just tell them the truth, right? And get people laid, and then you get more late testimonials, and that's how my marketing works. Today, I'm just a little bit brutally honest. So, are Argentinian women count with other Latinas too? I still count them as other Latinas. So, in that region, but yes, Argentinian women are still Latinas. So even Spanish women, oh, Spain is like white. It's like, shut the fuck up, right? Spain always wants to be white. They just love, like, they're always like pretending to be white. Like this really hot looking Spain blonde is always acting like I knew her before. She always acting like she's white all the time. Oh yeah, whatever, right? And she was dating a really good looking Jewish guy. It's like, I think it's a Russian Jew or Ukrainian Jew. I'm not sure, but and then they start fighting with each other. It's hilarious. It's like she's like being stupid, right? Because they always sell these. Um, when I was teaching Daygame at Metrotown, and she was there, they're always selling these fucking stupid sea salts, right? The Jewish people, the whatever sea of the Black Sea or whatever, right? That's all they ever sell. And then the guy was like, one of the guys was like Jewish or something, and she was like Spanish or something, working at a different place, and they're working near each other, and then he fucked her, and then they start fighting with each other, and then they just not get along. It's fucking hilarious. But she always thinks he's like, oh, she always thinks she's white, right? She always thinks she's white. That's what he told him. Yeah. Kosher. No, I don't think it's kosher salt. It's something like, um, it's something for exfoliating the skin. So that's what they'll sell. Exfoliating the skin. They start to say things like, oh, I'll start next week, or I'll work on my mindset first, or next week never comes. So the next one's emotional detachment. Hard cases struggle to connect with women on an emotional level, but they're not like, so there's difference between emotions and feelings. They don't get triggered. They rely too much on logic and tactics. They're ignoring emotional intelligence that they need to succeed. They might memorize routines or lines, but they fail to adapt in real time because they're just not paying attention to the women's emotions because they're Asperger's. Unteachable cases. Oh my God. Unteachable cases, on the other hand, are completely incapable of emotional connection. They're sociopathic, they're triggered by feelings rather than emotions, and view women as objects to be manipulated rather than humans being to connect with. So that's a weird thing. Whenever I teach some students, right, they're unteachable cases, they're really bad. I say, okay, we're going to do an empathy exercise. We're going to watch some videos over here of other people reacting to certain TV shows. It is very emotional, right? They watch it and they're like, I don't feel anything. I don't get what you mean, right? It looks like they're just trying to socialize. Like, the fuck? Some of the Asian students at least have enough emotion to say, oh, why are they overly reacting to the TV show? It's like, that's called empathy. And like, the Chinese students are like, huh? Empathy? Yes, empathy. You put yourself in the other person's shoes. Oh, but why are they overly reacting to everything? That's how they feel like on the inside. Their emotions are like 80% higher than yours. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. It's like, well, now you know. And then, yeah, then that's why they were stuck in Daygame for one student. He's super good looking too. And he got laid in 3 approaches after doing drills. He didn't even make any approaches until he practiced in the back of a campus for a month. And then 3 approaches, same day lay. Then other people are saying, oh, I don't believe in the drills. It's going to work for me. I said, fuck you, asshole. They, if they practice the drills too, they automatically get laid in a month. All of them. They just have to make the approaches afterwards. You could literally, like, if you guys want to cheat Daygame, it's very simple. You practice all my drills over and over with my help. You don't even have to approach. And then all of a sudden, you just unleash you out there. It's like training a dog or something, right? Like a police dog that, and they'll just go after the target and they'll win. They'll get that leg. So the training is more important than the actual approaching. The zombies are like, they run in a circle, they're chasing their fucking tails, right? They're eating their own shit and they're biting the furniture. It's like, oh, then try again. You're not going to get laid that way. They're a mass approach with their looks, money, status. They don't even have enough looks, money, status with their fucking double chin and their shit emotions. So, holding machine. What do you mean? So, as I was saying, the lack of empathy makes fundamentally incompatible with Daygame success. Number 4, narrow focus of the hard cases. Hard cases fixate on one aspect of Daygame, like opening lines or routines, right? Oh, they sure love their mystery method routines, right? What's the routine, John? Is it DHV stories? There are routines to remember. You might as well do some fucking magic tricks while you're at it, idiots. So, and while ignoring bigger pictures such as social skills, oh, what is social skills? You know, like verbals? Is it? I hate the word. Like, it's just, isn't it verbals? They don't even say verbals, like VERBALS. They say verbose, VERBOSE. Is it like verbose? Verbose? It's like, shut the fuck up. So, I mean, when you train them, they become like, yeah, kind of like that. It's kind of similar, right? Kind of similar. So, having said that, it's like you gotta learn social skills, flow drill, emotional control. Latinos and emotional control, that's a good one, right? Hold on. Let me make sure the eyes are sociopathic first. Let me just, hold my breath and see if I can do it. Hold the lips. What emotional control? I'm not depressed. Are you sure about that? You look depressed. No, I'm not. Come on now. Come on now. So, all right. So it's social skills, flow drill, emotional control, whitewash tonality, and singing through the thing so that way you can slow down your speech and not have a bunch of syllables. Like you're a bunch of Vietnamese people, and they talk like a bunch of syllables, like they're talking super fast. Like, what? No, even if they're born here, like talk like this, like, excuse me, okay. I have a question. That's over there. And I just thought you looked really nice. I'm talking about say you can say fucking 6 sentences in one. And social calibrations is important. Body language. Not this and hunching and, like a Latino and just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. They can't do a social skill flow drill. Latinos would just throw every single vibe at her. They won't remember anything. If they're lucky, they might remember a DHV story or a push pull sometimes, right? Or sexualizing it. That's all they can do. Just throw more shit against the wall and see what sticks. Nothing sticks. Todd V's neck, right? Hey guys, Todd V here. Oh, you look adorable. Oh, look at that. Look at boy talking to a girl. Oh, look at that. So adorable. Shut up, Todd. Ah. It's like, stop playing. I'm playing 4D chess with her. You see, she's not into me at all. But I'm playing mind games with. It's like, no, Todd, she doesn't fucking like you, and you're harassing her. But now I'm winning this shit test battle. Oh, for fuck's sake, shit test. Like, yeah, and now I'm gonna give advice, and I'm gonna give that guru glow, and I'm gonna talk like this to the audience, stick out my chest, and just throwing that tiger kind of expression at the audience sometimes in a thumbnail, like ABC's does. And then you have that guru kind of look like you're talking to an audience, and then you pretend that you're the expert by the way you speak, even even with three late testimonials like Todd V. Three only, and one of them was instructor. People even get laid, they just PUAs that gets like 4 out of 10s eventually, and they watch it like Jordan Peterson. So Latino wants to gangster max to get girls. No, no, no. I mean, most of my students do not gangster max, right? Nobody likes these gangsters, right? They're like hood rats will like them. The hood rats, the Latinas that paint their own eyebrows after they shave it off, right? The hood rats, the big asses, and their tits are hanging out everywhere. And then they're like, they only get interested in gangsters and people listening to stupid, dumb music, right? Like rap music and shit like that. All right, let's continue. And I'm just speaking the truth, right? I mean, there are nice Latinas that are like whitewashed Latinas, the upstanding ones that these guys cannot get. Then you got the hood rats, right? The hood rats are like super racist against Asians. And even black people have hood rats too when they're dealing with black women. You got the upstanding white women, and then you have the hood rats who only like the gangsters because it makes them excited because they have a little bit of protector status or survival value because of having that gangster drug money. As soon as they go in jail, she starts to cheat on them. That's just how the hood rats think, right? Like a big forehead, big booty, fucking dumb hood rat. Not to be racist or nothing, don't take that out of context, but that's what they look like. With that huge fucking forehead, right? It's like the fucking mongoloid forehead. And then they have like a fucking huge like ass and stuff. Like just and it's not even like a nice ass, it's like a really fat looking ass, right? But it's just like and then paint their fucking eyebrows and lots of makeup, and then it's just like ooh, like and they listen to stupid rap music all the time, right? It's hoodlum fucking music. And they just love the gangster shit. And they just ignore all the good people in their life. They're like invisible. They just flake on them, the hood rats. So they need height. They need a protector style. They need 5'11", right? They need muscles. They need that kind of stuff just to be excited. So, um, and big lips. Yeah, some of them have big lips. Some of them, yeah, I guess they do. When you think about it, not all of them do, but and they always post stuff on their social media, like things that they like the hood rats. They'll start posting other women for aesthetic reasons, like for inspiration. It's always they always posting some dark skinned women with some big tits and big hips and stuff. Looks like Kim Kardashian kind of look. And nobody likes it. Like no white guy would ever fuck something like that. And they just keep posting it over and over. It's just like, oh, that's what they like. It's like, no, they don't, right? It's like, what are they thinking? If the guy's not tall and gangsterish, she could not get wet. All right, let's continue. So they spent hours perfecting their openers just to fail to realize that their body language or tonality is completely off. Unteachable cases, Latinos. However, they lack focus altogether. They jump from one idea to the next, chasing shiny objects. Oh, what do you think about NLP, John? It's like, oh, shut the fuck up. Oh, but what do you think about tall self? Latinos love to suck off. Like, what do you think about tall self-proclaimed coaches? Holy. It's like the fastest way to never get laid again is Latino. They're chasing the next shiny object, right? They're never sticking with anything long enough due to their ADHD. They're the guys who buys every course on the market, right? Like, yeah, get the tall self-proclaimed coach course. But it doesn't work. Yeah, so of course it doesn't work. Are you insane? Like, why do you think it'll work? It's for Nike and shit. It's like, oh, but there's some Daygame stuff. You know, like going to a fucking cab and calling us a pole. It's like like fucking one late testimonial like from Daygame like this year and two from last year just from boot camp. So you say all the people that didn't take a boot camp, they have no chance of getting that laid. To get one token Asian laid in the next year, the next token Asian gets kicked in the nuts. It's like good for you. Stupid. And they also love their RSD shit, man. Oh, let me tell you, the Latinos, they love their RSD shit, their RSD Tyler shit. They can listen to Tyler talk about nothing for like, 5 hours, pumping their state, and they feel good. That's the Latinos. These are zombies. They cannot wait to listen to RSD Tyler because it makes so much sense to their fucking delusions. Because they're delusional people living in their own fucking delusional nightmare. There's a low self-esteem and high ego. But everything RSD Tyler says makes sense to them, and everything I say, they're like, oh, but my subconscious mind, it makes sense, but the conscious mind doesn't make sense. A conflict. Yeah, because there's a conflict because you're a zombie. You can't stop worshiping. Okay, the next one's fear of failure. Hard cases avoid failure at all costs, but not always. I can push them to approach, but they're so afraid of rejection that they'd rather do nothing than risk it getting it turned down. Okay, but I can still get them out there. So sometimes they can become an action, like inaction and stuff, self doubt. But in teachable cases, in contrast, they don't even acknowledge their failures. They'll blame everybody else. They'll try to blame me. They won't take responsibility. They'll run away from their homework assignments. Mindset playlist? What mindset playlist, right? They'll disappear so fast, they'll lie to you. Oh, yeah, I listened to my mindset playlist audio. It's like, really? You're acting like a zombie. Oh, yeah, I listened to it. They'll do the opposite. You tell them to do something, turn right with your car. They'll turn left into the ditch. Turn left, they'll turn right into the ditch. Unteachable cases. And they have a one-track mind. No, we're not going towards this direction. We don't need any skills in driving. We're just going to mass approach with our car and just run over everyone on the sidewalk. That's how they think, right? They just one-track mind. They cannot do multiple steps. So they're the ultimate victims, trapped in the cycle of self-pity entitlement. So now that we define what the hard case mindset, and which is fine, hard cases can still get things done. My Vietnamese student is approaching right now. But let's talk about what happens if you stay in this mindset. You have months wasted. Hard cases often spend months, spinning their wheels, roughly around 6 months. They'll try tactics after tactics, hoping for a quick fix, but nothing works because their mindset hasn't changed. Now, they can change if they use the mindset playlist. Then they go from a hard case to a normal case, just for 2 days now, right? During 2025, and then they fucking crash again, and they have to listen to AI audio again. So, John, have you seen? Can you not talk about some stupid ass dumb fucks? Like, it's like now you guys are gonna bring up the next person you're worshiping, right? It's like, what do you think about this coach? What do you think about this coach I'm worshiping, John? It's like, John, what do you think about this coach I'm worshiping? What about this other white coach I'm worshiping? What do you think about Ross Jeffrey, the one? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you worship. If you want to keep your dicks in your mouth, that's your prerogative. That's nothing to do with me. If you want to get laid, you train with me. If you want to worship and shove their dicks right up down your throat, right? And say, what do you think of that person while you're still doing it? Well, what do you think of that person? Huh? That's your problem, not my problem. Okay. So let's continue. So imagine waking up every day knowing that you're stuck in the same place as yesterday. The frustration eats away at you, and the more you try, the more hopeless you feel. Unteachable cases waste even more time because they refuse to acknowledge reality. They cling to their delusions. They're blaming women, society, or even their coaches for their failures. They're like a hamster on a wheel, running endlessly but never getting anywhere. They're like a video game character that never levels up and just keeps fucking dying. That's Latinos for you. They're almost like every single day is just another delusion. They're going to be right in their own mind. They're going to fail in 4 months. completely like self-destruction. Their whole life falls apart, and then they have no self-esteem and they get double chin. That's the Latino. And then they do that, like if it's 4 months, right? It's like 3 times in a year that they can bench hold, right? 4, 8, 12, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. And then afterwards they quit after the third time. And then magically, because they're too fucking stubborn, they resurrect and magically resurrect. Oh, let's just try everything again. As they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results like Latinos. Okay? It's like that's what they're like. And then just do the same thing to get more double chin. And then they go through the second time. 4, 4, 4. They fuck up again. They cry a little bit, have a meltdown. They love their tears, right? They're like, I'm Latino. I'm having a meltdown. I'm another meltdown, right? It's a fucking expression. And after the second meltdown, they resurrect themselves like Mario Brothers, right? Here's another extra life. You got 3. That's all you got. And then after the third time, then they turn mental. They just give up for many, many years. And then they come back to John. Oh, John, please train me. This time I promise I'm going to be faster. I'm going to be nothing like before. And the first week is the same fucking slowness. That's Latino fuck behavior. They get kicked out again. It's like, shit, you haven't changed a bit. But I remember everything you taught me. Yeah? But it doesn't have to take 3 fucking years before you assimilate. This is a Latino. They always say the same fucking thing. Hey, John, after 3 years, I was gone for 3 years. It turns out everything you said was correct. Of course it was correct. It was correct the first fucking 3 years. You could have done it my way. Oh, I wish I listened earlier. It's like, you could have done it my way in the first place. Give it a thumbs up, right? If this is like blaming external factors instead of taking responsibility. Hardcases blame their lack of success on women, the environment, or even the coaches. But you tell yourself, it's not me, it's the system. But deep down, you know it's just a lie because you're Asperger's. But unteachable cases, which are sociopath, narcissists, delusional ADHD people who are basically like unteachable cases, they take this to the extreme. They're blaming everyone else. They never lift a finger to change themselves. They're always runners. They love to run away. They run faster than Usain Bolt, right? You try to get like a Latino to do a homework assignment, boom, they'll break the fucking world record, right? Usain Bolt will be like, well, what the fuck? What's he running from, right? Like, right? It's just like they're gone. And then you try to chase them down. You gotta do the homework, boom, gone. You do the minimum. You do it twice, half-assing it, boom, they just bolt away. So, all right. They're the guys in the forum complaining about women while sitting at home doing nothing improves himself. So burnout and quitting. The consequence of frustration leads to burnout. You start to think, well, maybe Daygame is not for me. It's like, I go back to Tinder, right? Like chinos, right? I'll go back to night game. You quit not because you can't succeed, but because you're convinced yourself it's impossible. I've heard many Latinos saying, oh, it's like impossible somehow. No, because you're Asperger's. You're a dentist. You're very logical. You have one job with your hands that you're good at, and you can't do a second thing. Unteachable cases, however, never truly started in the first place. Oh, try to get Latino to do a homework assignment. All right, Latino or half Latino, living in Mexico, soon to be Colombia. Got to do a mindset playlist that has 26 videos. You're going to write down 10 takeaways. And then eventually, when you get worse and you lose your mind, you're going to write down all the problems next to them that I said that you have. And you got to admit it to yourself. And we're going to make an AI audio. Takes a month to finish the homework assignment. A whole fucking month. You know they're going to fail. They just sit on their sidelines watching others succeed while making excuses on their own. Like I had some unteachable cases because they have super approach anxiety. And eventually they just turn magged out. They have low IQ. They just look downwards and giggle. That's like, what the fuck is that? So there's only one person here. I must offend a lot of people. So, one second. Let me just see if I can maybe post another one of these. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Right? So they're the guys who says, oh, Daygame doesn't work, while ignoring the fact that my students are getting laid out there all the time, month after month, year after year, and miss opportunities while you're stuck. in your head. Other guys are out there getting results. Every day you delay is another missed opportunity to transform your life. Picture this: you're sitting at home scrolling through your phone like Latinos because they love TikTok, right? They sure love their fucking TikTok because they're ADHD as shit. Oh, oh, for a second, I thought you were giving me a middle finger. so, so I couldn't see without the glasses too well, right? I was like, I thought you were doing this, and I was like, no, it's a thumbs up. All right, great. So having said that, they love their doom scrolling. Latinos, oh, they cannot wait to be like scrolling all day on Facebook Live or Facebook or on fucking YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Latinos love that because they can't focus for shit. Their ADHD is through the maximum